All right, everyone, this meeting will now come to order. Would anyone like to utilize open forum at this time? Seeing no one, we'll, oh, you want to, come on.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say open forum.
Oh, sorry. Do you need a microphone?
Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, and Halloween's got me thrown. My name is Kevin Coonrod, and I'm the University Ombudsperson. And my job here is to help anybody associated with the university who's going through some sort of a problem work through that problem. And so I'm the ombudsman for students, for faculty, and for all of our employees. And I'm a confidential resource. And so I work right down a half block away at the Quad Center on the ground floor, just across from the mailbox room, which a lot of you probably are familiar with. And I'm there as a person who can come and talk about anything you want without worrying about me telling anybody, unless somebody threatens to shoot somebody or close to it. And so things that I've done for students, I've helped roommates mediate clothing disputes. I have helped people prepare for Title IX hearings. I'm not an advocate and I don't get involved in formal proceedings, but I can help people understand what the Title IX proceedings are, what the student conduct proceedings are, what academic honesty proceedings are like, and help them brainstorm how they might be able to present themselves at those hearings. I help people prepare to talk to professors. I've helped a few students have really, really difficult conversations with their parents. And so the sky is really the limit as to what I can do. There's no boundaries at all. If you have a problem, just come and see me. There's no charge for it at all. And you may have seen me sitting in the back. Until COVID hit, I used to come to almost all of the SGA meetings, and I loved it. And then COVID, I kind of got out of it, and I didn't come last year when I could have, and I regretted that. I met some of your officers, and they did a very, very fine panel presentation at a student advisors caucus last spring, and I realized with sadness that I've actually gone through an entire cohort of SGA representatives without getting to know any one of them. And so I'm glad to be back in here again. I'm here to help. Anybody just wants to come and talk to me, you can do that. And I love what I do. That's one of the best things about it. Any questions at all about what an ombudsman does? It's a crazy, screwy name. It's not descriptive at all. But what it means is I'm here to help you if you're having any sort of a problem. I get a lot of guidance. I know university policy very well. And so we talk about what can and can't be done under a particular circumstance. And I know a lot of people around campus. And so if you are looking for an advocate, or if you're looking for somebody who might be able to help you in a very specific way, I can give referrals, and also with your permission, I can talk to people about you. So, and that's any questions.
I have one. How does someone come and find you besides just coming to your office?
So first of all, I have my own webpage, and you can email me. And again, my name is I'm an ombudsman, and I'm simply ombuds at auburn.edu. And so ombuds is spelled Omicron, Mu, Beta, Ultra, Delta, and Sigma. So ombuds at auburn.edu. My phone number is 47170, or you can just knock on my door. Now, I don't have an assistant, and I'm very often in a meeting, but by emailing me, you'll be able to get a response from me within a couple of hours, almost hours. Now, I'm going to the Ombuds Conference in California next week, so I won't be here then, but I'm really quite accessible. And I meet people before school, I meet people after school, I meet people on Saturday or Sundays if that fits their schedules. So hope to see you some at the football game in a couple of weeks. Thank you for that question. Are there any others?
Any other questions? So you mentioned something about being confidential. What exactly kind of does that entail? Because I know there's some legal specifics and kind of things that go with university things.
Excellent question. I am not a mandatory reporter for Title IX. I promise you confidentiality when you come to see me. The only exception to that, well, actually there's several exceptions. One is you can authorize me to speak to somebody, so that's really easy. The other one, I have not had to do this in the 9 years that I've been here, but if I do have somebody who comes in and I feel there's a threat to that person's life or somebody else's life, I do have authority and discretion to go to authorities with that, but I haven't had to do that. And then finally, if somebody bring a claim of malpractice against me for doing bad ombud stuff, then I would be able to defend myself in that. And so really, up to the point where there's just a serious and imminent threat to somebody else or to your own person, I won't say anything about it. Now, I do have a caveat to that. You have heard about attorney-client privileges and physician-patient privileges, and these are state statutes that say that these professionals cannot be called into court to testify about what their client or their patient has told them in pursuit of their professional advice. And the whole idea about that is that when somebody's in a lot of trouble, they should be able to seek professional advice and not have to worry about it coming back and biting them later. We don't have that for ombuds in any state in America, but we do have what is known as an ombuds, not an ombuds, but a mediator confidentiality act in Alabama, and it operates as a privileged statute. So if what I do falls within the very broad definition of mediation they have in the state, then I would not be able to, I could not be called in to testify against anybody, even if I wanted to, nor would I have to produce documents. Now, I do take notes. I don't receive documents from anybody, and when my notes are no longer needed, I shred them. So I don't keep any files or anything like that. And with this white hair comes a memory that's not as good as it once was when I was your age. And so even if I do get called in, I will fight a subpoena. But it would come down to a judge ordering me to testify. That's what it would take. And now I get up there, I don't have any notes to refer to, and there's a good chance I won't have a very good recollection of the meeting anyway. I see a lot of people, and so and how it goes. So really good questions. Thank you. Any others?
Anyone?
Okay, it reminds me of the magician in Las Vegas. We've never met each other before, now have we? All right, thank you all very much. I hope to help you your constituents out this year.
Thank you, Mr. Coonrod. Would anyone else like to utilize open forum at this time? All right, seeing no one else would like to utilize open forum at this time, we will now go into the approval of the minutes. The minutes were sent out electronically both last week and this morning. Are there any corrections that need to be made to the minutes? Seeing that there are none, the minutes are now marked as approved and corrected. We will now move to our reports from our officers, beginning with our president, Mr. Grew.
All right, hey y'all, I'm Gru. We all dressed up as Despicable Me this year, but my main report, I just want to share with y'all about Tiger Giving Day. So Tiger Giving Day, every year, you know, if you've been here for a year, you've seen it. In late February, there's a big push from the Office of Advancement to get a lot of donations to different projects to raise money. And so every year, the SGA typically picks a project to help support and help raise funds for and help raise awareness within the student body. And so the project that we're going to be supporting is going to be a project with Student Affairs and the Office of Psychological Services for a group therapy space. As we know, mental health is always top of mind, and we want to be doing anything that we can do to make sure that students, have as many resources as possible. So we're really excited about that project, and we'll be getting y'all more details about how you can support it and what our plans are in the future. But I just wanted to share that. And then another project that we are not formally supporting, but I just wanted to share with y'all, is the Together We Will Fund project. And so that is a project from the Office of Inclusion and Diversity, and they partner every year with Auburn Athletics. And so if you've seen, like on the back of the basketball jerseys, they have the handshake, and so that is kind of the emblem of the Together We Will Fund. And so it's basically just a scholarship program to improve diversity at Auburn and make it a more equitable campus. And so I just wanted to share that with y'all as well. And we'll have more details about that in the future, but we're excited that we have the projects that we're supporting finalized. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Jake. And now we have our report from our treasurer.
All right, hi everyone. So this past week we had a meeting with the Alumni Association to kind of go over the existing rings contract we have between them. Pretty good discussions going on there. Definitely need some follow-up meetings, but overall it's a good relationship to kind of get back on track, and we're hoping that we can kind of get them going again with supporting the ring program. So that's really all I've gotten done this past week. Thank you.
Now the report from our Executive Vice President of Cabinet Administration.
Yeah, not much for me today. Just kind of what I was touching on last week is that I'm working with my recruitment team to kind of figure out how we want cabinet recruitment to look like in January. Another thing I said at cabinet today is we're close to the end of our semester, so let's finish the year of 2022 strong. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Rhett. And now a report from the Executive Vice President of Communications and Marketing.
Hey everyone, make sure you check the This Week in SGA this week. It should be going out tomorrow morning, but there's a graphic in there for y'all's open house that you have coming up. So make sure that you're sharing that to y'all's channel so that we can make sure we're reaching our target audience. Other than that, just keep up with our social media, and if you take pictures with your team, or if you did take pictures with your team before this meeting, upload them to the photo circle so we can get y'all featured on Instagram.
Thank you, Abby. Next, we have our report from the Executive Vice President of Outreach.
Hey y'all, no new updates from me, just please continue submitting research requests to the feedback and assessment team. If y'all have questions about any of the research you're doing, please set up a meeting with them or me, and tell your constituents to submit Auburn answers. The website's down right now, but we're working to get it back up, but that's it for me.
So like his minion costume?
Thank you. And lastly, we have our report from the Executive Vice President of Initiatives.
Hey guys, Eric Smith, who's been previously over health and wellness, is moving into a new role as the Executive Director of Campus Recreation and Wellness. So we're excited to see him move into that role and continue working with him. Thank y'all.
Thank you. And that concludes our reports from our officers. We did college reports last week, so we'll only be doing committee reports. And with that, I would like every member of the committee to come up during the reports. So first, we have academic affairs. You have to explain your costume. Y'all stand in front.
Okay.
Bring the microphone.
I don't want to rip it. Okay. Do we stand in front? Sorry. Dodd at large. Can anyone guess what we are? Yes, for President Gunner. Right there. So for us this week, we have the timely grant implementation resolution as a future order, which we're really excited about. And then me and Gunner are meeting with Leah Stewart this week. We're trying to set up, or Leah Stewart this week, to set up a meeting time for the student veterans textbook drive. And then we're working on 2 accommodations, but that's it from us. Okay. Guys, wait. I don't want this anymore.
After their picture, we have our report from the Budget and Finance Committee.
Are we doing serious face? Hold on.
Thank you, Academic Affairs. Now our report from the Budget and Finance Committee.
Seward business, so we're money. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're money. Okay, not much from us. We have one thing coming through today, reserve fund request. It's for the green space lighting project, and what that is Student Affairs, the Office of Student Affairs, reached out to SGA asking if we could contribute anything for getting lighting on the green space out there. So we will have reserve fund requests coming through for that. But other than that, that's all. So thank you.
Thank you, Nick. And now we have our report from the Code of Laws Committee.
Are we nurses or doctors? Doctors. We don't got no. Y'all, where's Nico? Dang. Yeah, no.
All right, if y'all would stop talking in your seats as much.
Dickinson business. So not much for me this week. Can y'all guess what we are? Correct. So Dickinson business. Not much for me this week. We have 2 future orders coming across, but I actually want to take the time to move to suspend the rules of order and move PSSB 22-1107-01 and PSSB 22-1107-02 from future orders to current orders.
There is a motion on the floor to move PSSB 22-1107-01 and PSSB 22-1107-02 from future to a current order. Is there a second? Second. Is there any debate? Seeing none, has been moved and seconded to move these bills from future to a current order. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? These bills have moved from futures to current orders and will now be marked as PSSB 22-1031-01 and PSSB 10-31-02.
Thank you. We need to take our picture.
Thank you, Ashton. Now we have our report from the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee.
Lozano business. We're princesses and Lucas our prince.
I didn't have a crown, so.
So last week we worked on, Lucy's working on a resolution about 9/11. Chloe's working on accommodation for the ROTC program, and Luger's working on accommodation for the School of Ag. And we don't have a committee meeting this week, but then next week we'll start working on those again. That's all.
Thank you, Julianne. Now we have our report from the Student Affairs Committee.
Any guesses on what we are, by chance? Men in Black. And I will say, we would have an alien here, but we actually did our jobs earlier today. Took one out at 12 o'clock. He's from Boise State, you know. But, and now we're riding a championship on the lane train. But, anyways, on to our report. We have the water line resolution coming through. Lucy will touch on it more when we go through it in future orders. Next, Eb's working on a parking ticket resolution. He'll talk about it more next week, but we are working with parking administration to make sure that they're okay when we pass through it. And shout out to Buckley and Daniel for being really attentive in our meeting for committee and providing a lot of freshman feedback. Thank you all. Oh.
Thank you, Student Affairs. And lastly, we have our report from the Executive Committee.
Yeah, what are we? Awesome. All right, Coleman, are you taking a picture?
Yeah.
Yes, you got it right, Ethan. Wait, I'm going to need you to do the dining office hours. Just a quick reminder to submit your office hours tonight if you haven't already. And we're going to do live sign-ups again. But also, too, just encouragement to finish out the rest of the term strong. We don't have a ton of Senate meetings left, so as y'all continue to wrap up your projects, I don't know, just to finish this term up strong. So,
Thank you.
yeah, inspiring.
Dining office hours. Yes, Lucy?
Do you?
Madeline, John David, and Ryan and I would like to take Monday at 11.
I would like for y'all to split that up. Ideally. Okay.
How are we going to
that's fine.
split it? Wait,
I can do Friday.
Ryan?
Could me and Senator Ty take Thursday? What was that?
So there's 3 of us on Monday, and then Thursday at 11 is Ryan and Tylen. Okay. Nick?
Ashley and I will do Wednesday at 8.
Whew. All right. We only have 1 spot left, so
1, 2, 3, 4.
Jonathan, you want the 1 spot?
Sure. Give us, yeah, perfect. No, it's actually not perfect. Can you go over to Wednesday at 12? With Eb and I?
1 spot.
We only have we only have 1 spot left. That's the problem. Yeah.
We have 8 spots a week.
Oh, well, you can just take my name.
At large.
No, they're not doing it. Anybody want the singular spot? Nope. Party?
Could I do Wednesday at 9?
Yeah. Wednesday at 9 for party. Awesome. That's it for me. Thank y'all.
All right, and that concludes our reports from our committees. We will now move into our reports from our liaisons, beginning with the Honors Congress.
I'm Forrest Gump. This SGA meeting is a lot like a box of chocolates. Yeah, the Honors Congress doesn't have much to report. We had our a Halloween dinner just now that I just came from. It was super fun. And we established a new budget for our next year. So that was really cool. And that's it.
Thank you. Now we have our report from BSU.
Bailey, BSU. I'm not dressed up as anything. Sorry, guys. So today's GA, we talked about Halloween, and I also got some feedback on e-scooters and e-bikes. So I would like to share that real quick because you're very opinionated about it. So basically what a lot of people were saying is they were confused if they have to abide by the road signs. So someone shared a story, they got stopped, they got pulled over because they ran a stop sign. And there was nowhere that told them that they had to abide by the stop sign. So they were really confused about that. People also brought up that they're not sure how to handle being pulled over when they're on a scooter. It was weird. Someone got a video of it, and it was definitely weird. So that was an interesting story. And are they supposed to ride on the sidewalk or on the street? Which is safer? Which do we prefer, which I'll also get into that again. So what they did like was the no scooters in academic buildings. They thought that was a great rule. Making sure that there's some more bike/scooter lanes. They thought that that would be beneficial, and some type of speed limit, because I'm not the only one that has seen it, but they ride really fast. And one person said they have the need for speed, so they're confessing that they speed. On-campus signs that let people know what the rules are. Also, someone brought up a concern about their friend who is in a wheelchair, and basically their friend doesn't have enough room on the sidewalk. And then they said that it's 10 times worse because they're worried about getting hit by a biker or a scooter because people are going way too fast on the sidewalk. So that was a major concern that people had. That's basically all the feedback that I got today about e-scooters and e-bikes. Our next GA is Monday at 5, if any of you guys would like to come.
Thank you, Deani. Now we have our report from the ASVA.
Or student veterans, mini. A makeshift mini costume. I don't have that much. I'm just going to keep talking about the gala until it happens. So just a reminder, the gala is on November 10th. So it's coming up really quick. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if anybody would want to sponsor a table at this point, but if you are interested in going, seriously let me know, because we might be able to work something out if it's just 1 or 2 people. That's a maybe, but just let me know. Maybe we can do something. Also, just a shameless plug for me. I'm the game day hero on November 8th at the women's basketball games. So if y'all want to come out and cheer for me, they're going to make me sound really cool out there.
Congratulations, Molly. That's huge.
Thanks. So yeah, it would be nice to have people there. So
November 8th?
Yeah, November 8th at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Molly. And now we have our report from the ROTC.
I'm a banana. That's about all I got. No, I'm kidding. Quick report from me is we had a Halloween run this morning at 5:30, so if I woke you up, I'm sorry. I didn't want to be up that early either, so it's okay. Not much going on. We are trying to, sad news, I'm finding my replacement. Yeah, tears, it's okay, cry about it later. But I am finding my replacement, so looking into that right now. I don't know what the process is for that, but that should be a good time. And that'll probably be coming in the next 2 weeks as well, just getting those orders through. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And now we have our report from our freshman senators, who y'all have gotten to know over the past couple weeks. Y'all come up. So they're going to get up here and they're going to kind of officially introduce themselves and give a little report on what they've been up to.
Can you guess what we are? Yeah. Okay, so I'm Will Franklin.
I'm William Beaker.
Case Shariko.
Emma Francis Zellner.
Georgia Crodell.
Buckley Nettles.
We also have Xandria Carmichael. Was she sick?
Yes.
Is that it?
Do you want to say what you've been up to? Do you have a report?
We have been learning and sitting in on the meetings. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Shout out to my committee leader. Hashtag.
Thank y'all. And since it's Halloween, I'll let the freshmen forum mentees come up and show off their costumes as well.
As you can see, I'm Brian Harson. I'm Charlie Cox also, but they're moving me out.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
Okay, we're good.
All right, thank y'all. And that concludes our reports from our liaisons. Those are really fun, but we do have a lot of serious orders of business right now to go through. We have multiple bills we've got to get through right now. We have 2 current orders. So if y'all would pull out your computers at this time, because we've got 2 bills we've got to vote on. And the first current order we have is PSSB 22-103101 by Senator Dickinson.
Dickinson business. So this is just the timeline centered around election week. Not much is changing, as you can see. The schedule is still the same. The only thing that I want to bring you guys' attention to is February 3rd. Voting day is being shortened to 5 p.m. So yeah, basically the reason for that, when we do from 7 to 7, and after like all of the data and research, a lot of votes really aren't garnered after 5 p.m. So that way it gives OIT enough time, e-board to like enough election hearings, and we're not out in front of Cater until midnight. So yeah.
Read the bill.
Oh, my bad. So Tuesday, October 25th at 8 a.m., the event, Miss Auburn nominations and campaign registration opens. It'll be on AU Involve, and the form is found and completed on AU Involve. Thursday, November 17th at 4:45 p.m., Miss Auburn nominations are due on AU Involve. Thursday, December 1st at 4:45 p.m., campaign registration forms are due on AU Involve. Tuesday, January 31st at 3 p.m., kickoff happens on the Upper Quad line, and it's a joint kickoff for all major candidates. Friday, February 3rd, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. is voting day, which takes place using a QR code or AU Access. I move to pass this timeline as written.
It has been moved to pass this bill as written. Is there a second? Second. It has been moved and seconded to adopt this bill. Is there any debate? Sydney.
Next bill. That'll be, yeah.
It doesn't matter, or
it's fine. Is there any further debate? Seeing there's no further debate, we will move into a vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye and voting yes in the Teams chat. All opposed, please say nay and vote no.
Aye.
It seems that the ayes have it and this bill is adopted. Now moving into our second current order of the building, we have current order of the night. We have PSSB 22-103102 by Senator Herring.
Herring, COSAM.
As for approval of the following, 1008.5.1 shall begin at 3 p.m. Central Time 3 days prior to voting day and will conclude at 5 p.m. Central Time on voting day. 1008.6.1, voting polls shall open at 7 a.m. and close at 5 p.m. on the final day of formal campaigning. 1012.8, elections voting shall be conducted by an internet voting system through Auburn University's AU Access system from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time on the voting days, except in the case of a technical malfunction of the system. I move to pass this bill as written. It's been moved to pass this bill as written. Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded to adopt the bill just as read. Is there any debate? Seeing there's no further debate, we'll move into a vote. All in favor, please say aye and vote yes. All opposed, please say nay and vote no.
Aye.
It seems like the ayes have it and this bill is adopted. And that is the conclusion of our current orders for tonight. Moving on, we have our future orders, and we have PSSB 22-110701 by Senator Seward.
Seward Business. Ayes for the approval of the following. The amount of $50,000 to be allocated to the initiatives line item of the Student Government Association budget from the Reserve Fund to fund the Campus Green Lighting Project. These funds will support the Office of Student Affairs efforts in implementing new electrical upgrades and lighting on the green space.
Are there any questions on this future order? Seeing none, we'll move on. Thank you, Senator Seward. Next, we have our first resolution of the year by Senator Dodd, PSSR 22-110701, timely grade implementation.
Dodd at large, timely grade implementation for early alert status, whereas while the Student Government Association, SGA, of Auburn University acknowledges and appreciates the efforts of faculty to provide grades for students in a timely manner, there is still progress to be made in allowing students an ample amount of time to determine and acknowledge their grade before the week of final exams, and whereas feedback from student discussions during Student Government Association Senate office hours and Auburn answer submissions have indicated students' frustration from not being able to accurately calculate grade point averages entering the week of final exams due to a lack of completed assignments being graded and placed into Canvas, and whereas in the Early Alert Grade Survey created by the Student Government Association, feedback about a potential early alert status grade for finals reads, teachers really need to do this because it allows students to be proactive on their situation if they are struggling in a class earlier on compared to after getting your final grade and being in a panic. And whereas in the same survey, out of 107 students who participated, 61.96% of students answered yes to the following question. Have you ever taken a final exam for a course where you were not aware of your current grade prior to taking the exam? And whereas the University of Alabama at Birmingham and Mississippi State University, both of which are peer institutions, have progress grade reporting deadlines for both midterm and final exams that are distributed over 4 dates in their spring and fall semesters to provide an ample amount of time for students to take the steps needed to thrive in their academics. And whereas students desire feedback on their grades in advance of finals, especially first-year students who are adjusting to the college environment so that can know their academic standing before going into their final examinations for the semester. And whereas students are more inclined to utilize the academic resources Auburn provides, such as tutoring, coaching services, and office hours if they are aware of their academic standing in a timely manner. And whereas having a policy on timely grade implementation for students would foster better state of mental health amongst students leading up to the final exam, and that students have reported a large amount of stress and anxiety stemming from not knowing their academic standing going into the final exam period. And whereas Hanover Research, an independent market research firm, discloses that overwhelmingly most institutions use early alert systems in order to improve retention and graduation rates, demonstrating that there is a positive correlation on student retention and graduation rates from providing early alert grades for students. And whereas early alert banner grades are defined as in order to facilitate the adjustment of students to the rigors of Auburn University's coursework, faculty teaching core courses must record in Banner an early alert grade for all students enrolled in those classes 1 week prior to the midterm. This process will permit students to seek tutoring or take other action before the midterm drop deadline, thus receiving a notification when early alert Banner grades are posted effectively and efficiently informs students of their academic standing. And whereas previous CAP Director of IT Troy Hahn states that Auburn wanted a modern system, something intuitive that would allow students to easily navigate through the courses. When describing Auburn choosing Canvas as its primary academic portal. In order to fully utilize this platform, professors must enter in assignment grades so that they can easily navigate their courses and uphold this standard. And therefore, let it be resolved that the SGA Student Senate of Auburn University urges that academic policy require professors to enter assignment grades into Canvas regardless of whether or not the professor utilizes Canvas as their main platform of academic teaching, and therefore let it be further resolved that the SGA Student Senate of Auburn University asks that academic policy require all grades to be posted into Canvas at least 1 week prior to the final exam for every course, and therefore let it be further resolved that the standard for midterm early alert grades continue as the precedent for final grades at Auburn University and be expanded to include all courses rather than only core classes as stipulated by the current policy. CC Dr. Vinnie Nathan, Interim Provost, Dr. Norman Godwin, Associate Provost for Academic Affairs, and Karen Batty, University Registrar.
Are there any questions on this future order?
A lot of professors like to give like tests like the last day of class. Is this resolution also asking that be like done away with, or would you consider that an exception?
There are exceptions, I would say, but I do think unless they grade the test well and before the final exam, it's still an issue because students still don't know what their grade is going into that. So I think if they do give the last day of class like a test that day, then it needs to be graded at least 1 week prior to the final exam. Yes. Okay.
So pretty much would this mean that, say you check Canvas, so many days before the exam or whatever, would the Canvas grades portal be completely up to date? Is that the medium that you're using, or is it maybe paper through the actual university that you access?
The goal is to be on Canvas because it is the main platform, and so we have one statement in here, and it says regardless of if Canvas is not their main grade or their main platform that they use, they should put in all grades into Canvas because that's what Auburn uses mainly. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely trying to start a conversation amongst the midterm early alert status grade too, because it is defined that only core courses have to have the grade put in by the midterm deadline, but I know a lot of students still struggle with their professor not having the midterm grade. And so with this resolution, I'm looking to have the same policy put in place for finals, but also bringing up the issues regarding the midterm one. But hopefully that won't be happening anymore.
Are there any other questions on this future order? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. Lastly, we have PSSR 22110602 by Senator Brown and Senator Counts. You come up. Eb, you come up too.
Did you not put the one I emailed?
I put the one that passed through Senate Exec in there.
Okay. Oh. Okay. All right, this is the water line construction in between Louder Parking Lot and Wiggins Hall. Whereas the Harbert College of Business and the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering are the two largest colleges at Auburn University, containing 6,734 business students and 6,218 engineering students. And whereas business and engineering students' classes are primarily concentrated in their respective colleges' buildings, which are further away from the majority of dining options on Central Campus. And whereas student feedback obtained during Senate office hours supports that students have the desire to have a food truck be placed in closer proximity to these colleges in order to allow for more convenient dining options for these students. Therefore, let it be resolved that we, the Auburn University Student Senate, recommend that the Auburn University Facilities Department initiate the construction of a water line in between Louder Parking Lot and Wiggins Hall, so that a food truck location may be added to this location for the purpose of providing a more convenient dining location for students of the College of Business and College of Engineering. CC Glenn Loveridge, Director of Campus Dining and Concessions; William Walker, Assistant Director of Campus Dining; Jeff Long, Assistant Dean, Finance and Administration, Harbert College of Business; Jeffrey Fergus, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Studies and Program Assessment, Samuel Ginn College of Engineering; Benjamin Burmeister, Assistant Director of Design Services.
Are there any questions on this future order?
Can I edit it to CC somebody else, or would that be next week?
Not on the floor. Not as a future order.
Can I do that as a current one next week?
Next week.
Okay.
I'm sorry, William Student Sciences. Could we just have like a little bit more context as to why like this was written, especially considering y'all have like Tiger Bread and like Village and I mean someone needs to get the student center. So just like a little bit more context.
Yeah. Yeah, so this has been feedback that we've gotten from business students and, as Eb said, engineering students for like 4 years. I went back and watched Senate from like 3 years ago, and Rhett Wagner got up and said, we're looking to move a food truck near the business school. And so they were getting this feedback. The people before them were getting this feedback. And right now, Tiger Bread Company is more grab and goes, as is Starbucks. It's more like sandwiches, and Tiger Bread Company is Samazon bowls and like salads, grapes, like random things like that. And business students and engineering students are wanting more like hot food and meals. And every time I've brought this up to dining, since I've been on dining for 2 years, they've said like, oh, we don't have a water line there, otherwise we would. And so we were just thinking like, okay, why not build a water line? So this has been feedback for a while, and Tiger Bread Company isn't the most popular right now, so we're thinking about changing it. That's in the works. But this would get a food truck closer to two of the main most popular campuses. And students they took it out, but there was a statement that said students have 15 minutes in between classes. That's what most constituents have said, that they don't have enough time to go to the Village and back. I being one of them, I could speak to that you only have time to grab something really fast. So this would bring something closer that they don't have to go across the street in the crosswalk. Do you have anything to that?
That's perfect.
Are there any other questions on this future order? All right, seeing none, that concludes our future orders for tonight. And we'll now move into announcements. I only have a couple of things for y'all. This Wednesday, we have the concourse, and so that's a great way for y'all to get involvement hours. We have that from 10 to 1, I believe, and we really need people to sign up for those hours. Great way for y'all to get an involvement hour and just kind of get out there, let people know the declarations of intent are open. We really want a lot of people to run for these positions, especially Senate and Schools Council, because a lot of things have been appointed in the past, but I want 0 appointments this year, and I really think that we can do it if we really push hard this month. Also, next Monday, I've mentioned this a couple of times, next Monday, November 7th, is going to be the Legislative Branch Open House, or the Minor Candidate Open House, and so before this, at 6 o'clock, we have a little bit of a program before in 2218, I believe, just to kind of allow prospective candidates to come learn a little bit more about Schools Council, learn a little bit more about Senate, and then they'll have the opportunity to come and see a Senate meeting right afterwards. So if you have any friends who are really interested in running for Senate or Schools Council, please let them know that that's a really great opportunity for them. I would love for all of you all to show up if you can. If you can't, I do understand, but if you aren't running for your seat again next year, I would really, really highly recommend you come and just kind of talk about your experience in Senate. A lot of the things that are confusing for people is the whole ticketing process, and so I have a big explanation kind of talking a little bit more about that and just a little bit more about campaign finances and just y'all know how it is because most of y'all did it at one point. I really think that that's it for me right now. Do any of y'all have any questions or anything? Mm-hmm. 6. We'll have little refreshments and 2216, I believe. So it's in this. It's right around here. Anything else? All right, you're dismissed.